Hello, pals. Welcome to December. What the bananas happened here? Holy Toledo. So, apologies, I'm a little bit sick. It's been the fall of sick. Anyway, it is what it is, and I will mend when I mend. Hope that this finds you well. So, today's session, it shows up in a couple of different places. So, this is primarily, it has a couple of reasons behind it, I guess. This serves as a tour of what we have on tap for the Good Food Network. So it's meant to be a peek behind the curtains to see what you can expect from this Good Food Network that I talk about a lot. And this Good Food Network originated a year and a half ago, just about, when I wanted to build a one-stop shop where we delved into content on a specific topic for 1 or 2 months. It started with 1 month, and then I quickly realized we had to extend some of that stuff to 2 months. And it's been a really fun ride. I've discovered a lot of things that work, some that don't. I have tailored a lot of the sessions and some of the content to be a little bit more digestible bites. And then I get away from that, and it's hard. So I'm going to try again this month. But the thing to know is that in the network, this began as a landing pad for those who are one-on-one clients who are thinking, oh, I really like the ideas that we talked about. I need the reminders of those ideas, but I sort of feel like I got all the ideas I need from when I worked with you, Luca. So this is for that person where you and I have worked together one-on-one. And you are 6 months, 2 years out, I don't know. And you're realizing, oh, hang on, I forget a lot of what we talked about and I need some reminders. So the Good Food Network is for you. Now, it is also for the person who might be struggling with whatever the main topic of the month is. So this month we're continuing on. It's part 2 of sleep. And it's not an episodic kind of thing. You can jump in this month if you missed us in the network in November. So if you struggle with sleep, there's going to be some really good content for you this month. And that's where we're going to focus our efforts in the month of December. So for somebody who, I know, isn't it awful? It sounds awful. Anyway, for the person, sorry, so dramatic, Luca. This is also, the Good Food Network is also for the person who has often thought, oh, geez, I think I might like to work with Luca, but I'm not quite sure yet. I want to hear some of her ideas. I want to get a better idea, and I can't afford the price point for a package to go see Luca. The Good Food Network is a really super affordable price at $35 for the month. And there's no sales tactics. There's no, you have to do it by Friday, otherwise you don't get a deal. I know those tactics work, but also if you need help, I'm here. That's all. Do you struggle with sleep? We will have some solutions for you. And I truly believe that when you do that, you actually create space for someone to do a bit of the repair that needs to happen anyway. If you voluntarily, without being coerced, jump into the Good Food Network, now you're going to be even more willing to jump into the content and really get down to the work. So this is for the person who is not yet ready to work with me one-on-one, but knows, in fact, that they are struggling with sleep and that they would really like some pointers to help them build these practices that can help them get to sleep. So without further ado, I'm going to go through a couple of different things, how to know if maybe this is you. Then I'm going to give you a tour of the network. And this is going to be primarily to give you a sneak peek behind the curtains, but also to give a tour to anybody who's going to join us that's new this month in the network. We always have a couple of new people every month. So I think we're up to 12 right now, which is so exciting. It's a nice small group. And then everything that is available in the network there's a combination of live content, pre-recorded content, and written content. And everything that's live has a replay. So everything is accessible once we've done the live piece. So you can join us live for some of those sessions, or you can just plan to watch the replay at some point in the week. So I'll end the whole session with some tips on how to make the network work for you if you decide by the end of today's session that, yep, this is something that I want to do. If you're watching this as it's bouncing out live to the Facebook page, know this. I don't have the capacity to send you the link while I'm talking. I can't do 7 things at once. But comment below and just say, I want the link, and I will send it to you directly. And I'll show you where that is. I'll take you through, so if you want to stick around and see that. So let's get into it. Okay. Who has troubles sleeping? How do you know? This is my list of 10. So every month I like to highlight the top 10 things that I see when I ask my questions of my clients. So we always start with a 90-minute intake. In that 90-minute, we go through a bunch of content and questions to figure out what's going on in their body. And part of a good intake involves, how is your sleep? And for very important reasons. In good quality sleep, not falsely kind of prodded along sleep, but like the real deal, capital S sleep. Not like I need some help to get there. And also we'll get you the help so that you can eventually just get to sleep naturally. But when you struggle with sleep, how that impacts is in so many different ways. You need to balance your blood sugars in the nighttime for the next day. So today is Friday, December 1st. I needed to sleep well on Thursday night in order to balance my blood sugars today on Friday. It's not going to happen. I was up hacking along last night, so I didn't sleep very well. Guess who's going to have troubles balancing her blood sugars today? Oh, I need to be in the network, don't I? I just need to clear my lungs. I usually sleep quite well, actually. So that's the first one. Second of all, when you are in good quality sleep, you naturally enhance melatonin to be made. And melatonin has a lot of very important pieces that it does. I think of it as the whack-a-mole hormone that's sort of, and gentle at that, that goes, hey, testosterone, get back down there. She's kind of the queen bee of the hormones. Estrogen, you get back down there. I don't want you in charge over there. She's also, melatonin also goes, progesterone, you're too low. I can't hear you. Let's raise you up. Boop, 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 boop. And it brings progesterone back up. So in good quality sleep on Thursday night, if you're able to achieve it, then Friday you will start the day having reset your hormones in the nighttime. If you cannot sleep well, now you're going to impact the hormone balancing work of the next day. Now, in sleep, you also do the cleanup from inflammation. What's inflammation, Luca? Well, it is the common thing that drives chronic diseases. It is what we associate with aging as normal. Is it normal? Yeah, I suppose it is normal, and it's a body's repair mechanism, so I love it. But it's super common. Sorry. It's just stuck. Like I just want it to move out. Okay. It's coming out. It's been sitting there for a month. Okay, so you do the work of moving out and cleaning up from inflammation if you can get to deep sleep at night. You also do that deep work of consolidating memories and resetting your whole nervous system in order to get started afresh the next morning. There is so much that happens in sleep. It is underestimated how much of a superpower sleep is. And tricky part about this is when you have any troubles with all of the things I mentioned, they start to undermine your sleep. So if you have blood sugar imbalances, it makes it really hard to get to deep sleep. So now you're not able to get to deep sleep to do the repair from the blood sugar damage and to reset your blood sugars for the next day. So it's kind of a snowball effect in each of these scenarios. So part of what we do in the network is to give you some tools to build good practices, small things one at a time, in order to build that consistency to help you get those pieces in place. Does that make sense? So in my intake with my clients, there are a series of things when they come up in conversation, I go ping, oh, we need to look at how their sleep is. And I wonder if at some point we're going to have to do a session on sleep for them. So do you say yes to any of these? I have 11. You ready? Number one, hard time falling asleep. Why are there toothpicks in my eyes and why is it so hard to fall asleep? There can be many contributing factors, and we talk for sure. We're going to do a big class on this actually, on one of the biggest contributors to why that happens and how to work around it. Number two, do you wake up in the middle of the night? Do you wake up at the same time of the night? Do you wake up because you have to go pee? Do you wake up having to make all of the lists? Oh my God, I forgot to go pick up the dry cleaning. My mother-in-law's birthday is on Saturday. Did I get gifts for the kids going to the birthday party on Sunday? Fill in the blank of all the things that are due. So if you wake up in a panic with worries, if you wake up to pee, if you wake up with a sort of heart racing when you're up in the middle of the night, Do you wake up at the same time? 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock? Yep, they're all indicators that sleep is tricky. Luca, you're waking up in the night. That's usually an indicator you're not sleeping. I know. Sometimes it takes stating the obvious, though. That is number 2. Number 3, do you rely on sleep medications? My jaw dropped when I heard a video. I watched a video from Orsha Magyar, who's a colleague here in town. She taught at the college I went to for nutrition. And Orsha really, her specialty is in the brain and the nervous system. And she was doing a class leading up to brain health. And she was talking about, there was a new study that came out this year in 2023, in January of 2023, where they looked at the statistics of people who relied on sleep medication to see what the link was to Alzheimer's and dementia, right? The neurodegenerative conditions later on. And Orsha said, when they looked at the numbers, it was astounding. For those who said, I rely on sleep medication on a steady basis all the time, there was an 87% increase in the possibility of developing Alzheimer's. 87% has to do with acetylcholine, and the medicine actually depletes things you need for your brain that help protect your brain against neurodegenerative conditions like Alzheimer's. They don't tell you that when you're buying the over-the-counter stuff, do they? They don't tell you that when they sell you the melatonin at the store, do they? No. They don't tell you when you're doing a harder prescription with your medical doctor because you really need to sleep. Because when you're not sleeping, oh, good Lord, if that is not the item we need to look after the first thing. Yeah. So I get it. Relying on it to get a couple of nights of sleep just to get ahead of the curve so you can actually have a bit of thinking space. Yeah, I absolutely get it. But reliance on it long term, oh, sugar. You are not getting the true deep sleep, and now you are not allowing all of that other work that happens in natural sleep to function well. So while you get ahead of the game, then you need to put in the things we talk about in the network that help you put those supports in place. So if that's you, the Good Food Network is going to be amazing in the month of December for you. I know it's a busy month, but how important is your sleep to you? It's okay if it's like, no, Luca, I cannot. I get it. Anywhere I'm going to add more stress, we're going to make it worse. So I'm just planting the seed to let you know that I have lots of supports all the time. All right, that's number 3, relying on sleep medications. Number 4, are you tired when you wake up? Where it's really hard to get out of bed in the morning, like snooze 4 times. Okay. Number 5, do you have seasonal affective disorder? So that is typically linked to the lack of sun. So when you get into the winter months, does your mood plummet and does your ability to sleep plummet? The two are connected through a process in the gut. And if you have both and they are tied to the season of winter, and you are the person who's had to seek out the red light therapy and do some other things, then you will get some benefits in the network. And when you have seasonal affective disorder, it tells me you are having a hard time getting to sleep at night. This one's interesting. Do you struggle with directions? That is an indicator when you used to know where you were in time and space. When you can't figure out, like, so I'm in Calgary and I always know where the river is. It's that way. And I orient myself according to the river, sometimes according to the mountains, sometimes according to downtown, depending where I am in the city. And I sort of orient myself, understanding where those 3 things are. The day I lose that capacity to remember or to figure out where the river is and where I am in relation to it, that's an indicator that the sleep is disrupted as well. Isn't that interesting? It has to do with the organ that makes the hormone to sleep, is also the organ that helps you understand where you are in time and place. Isn't that amazing? And space, time, place, space. That's number 6. Number 7, do you rely heavily on caffeine and sugary treats to get you through the day? Are you the 2 p.m. gal who goes to get coffee with a girlfriend with that muffin because that's the only way you'll be able to get through the afternoon? Or maybe you are the person who goes down to the lunchroom and there's pastries left from this morning's meeting. Do people even do trays of pastries anymore? God, I would hope we've advanced from there. I love pastries, but also like at a business meeting, People are sitting at desks. They're not going to work off the sugar. Anyway, what do I know? If you're the person who cannot say no to the tray of pastries in the lunchroom, how's your sleep, pal? Intéressant. Yeah, they're related. Do you crave carbs? Do you get hangry in the middle of the afternoon? That's just another way that this shows up. Are you the person where I was so good sticking to my diet, and when I got home, I ate 4 sleeves of cookies from the pantry? Why do we keep buying cookies? They go down my gullet. Okay, is that you? Or people will say, no, I don't crave sugary treats. I'm a little bit more civilized and I go for a bag of chips. So that was me. And a bag of chips is just as high in carbohydrates. Yeah, surprise, surprise, surprise. As, you know, and also you're doing it because that's going to save you in the moment from dying. Your body perceives it, so I get it. But if you come to that conclusion at 4 o'clock when you get home from work and you cannot not shove your hand in the jar of candy that still has the Halloween remnants, that you can't help but grab the cookies, that you are like, no, I need to have some chips and salsa. I need to take out the bag of chips for my appetizer because I'm not going to make it to dinner because I'm so hangry right now. How is your sleep? I bet you it's struggling. What, Luca? Yeah. Yep. Number 9, this was me. Do you get the 7th wind at night? What the heck is that, Luca? I don't know what you mean. Okay, this is what this means. So, when my daughter would be in bed when she was little, before I went to nutrition school and I was working at the time, my husband was in bed. He went to bed quite early. He's an elementary school teacher. And I would clean the kitchen, or my husband and I would clean the kitchen. We worked together on the house chores. But anyway, we cleared everything. Everything was done. Everybody had what they needed. Kiddo had her lunch ready for the next day and her bag was packed. And I didn't, it would be fairly easy tomorrow morning to get started and get out the door. Oh my God, it's 9 p.m. I have my time to myself. I'm going to scroll through Facebook and I'm going to go make my conclusions about how the world works and what I think are the solutions to the world problems. And it's 1 o'clock in the morning. How did that happen? How come I can't go to bed? Is that you? That's the 7th wind at night where you feel so jazzed. And you're like, no, that's when I go to the gym because I get my best workouts then. That's when I stay up and I'm writing my novel. That is when I stay up and I write out all the solutions to the world problems. Is that you? You should be naturally winding down as the sun sets. How's that going for you? If you can't, that's impacting your sleep. And now your sleep is troubled. So if that was you, that's one of the questions I ask my clients. Number 10, do you have the weight gain around the midriff, especially? And I will add to that even more so if it shows up in perimenopause. I have the best muffin top in town. I do all of the things and it's hard. Yeah. My sleep is way better than it used to be, but goddamn, sleep was hard for a long time. But yeah, the weight gain midriff is another telltale sign where I go, geez, how is your sleep? I bet you're struggling with it. And bonus, if insomnia is ramping up through perimenopause and into menopause, it is often the case where there's also a shift in mood. And if that is the case, and I will add to this, especially if you've had a virus where it kind of throws everything off for a couple of months after a virus, because I've had to face this the last 3 months. I got a virus of some sort this fall. And I've realized how much it has shifted so much of that biochemistry that allows for natural sleep to happen and for my immune system to function properly. So if you are the person who's had lots of colds and flus, I'm going to tell you, sleep is probably troubled and we have some work to do, don't we? That's my top 10. So what else could you maybe say yes to? Yeah, insomnia, right? That's obvious. Are you having a hard time sleeping because you're just awake? Is it because you're hacking your lungs out at 2 o'clock in the morning? Okay, it was 2:30 until 5:30. Okay, well, if that's just situational, then maybe you don't need to be in the network. But if it's a regular occurrence all the time, yeah. Do you have a hard time staying asleep? Do you get up to pee in the night? Do you wake up at the same time every night? Do you sleep too much? Do you sleep too little? Do you sleep such a short amount and you're still really super lethargic in the daytime? It's going to make it really difficult to get through your workday. Are you tired during the day? Do you struggle with mood, especially low moods? Anybody who comes to me where if that's one of the main pieces we're going to be looking at, we're going to be looking at how their sleep is. And chances are both are impacted. It's a very similar mechanism that impacts them both negatively. And when we do the work for one, it's going to support the other, which is so fun. Do you have a lot of panic or worries? Do you have headaches? Do you have histamine issues? Yeah, insomnia can sometimes be driven by histamine issues. So if you struggle with sleep and you know you have histamine issues, oh, hey, hi there. Do you struggle with where you are in space? So similar to that direction, if you struggle with directions, just another way to think of it. Is your immune system slow to function and you're getting all the flus this fall? Yeah, I do. Do you have fertility issues? Often one of the pieces we do look at is how is your sleep? And then let's see if we can maximize how that sleep is and really support the natural function there, because it helps reset and recalibrate a lot of your hormones. Of course, having babies is all hormonal. Osteoporosis and osteopenia. For anybody who presents with that, I'm going to guarantee you 100% struggle with sleep and have for a long time. I see it time and again. And the lack of good quality sleep is unfortunately contributing to the development and the progression of osteopenia into osteoporosis. It's not because you are not sleeping well that you have osteoporosis, but it's not helping. It's kind of making the situation worse. So one of the things that I do, I see quite a few gals who have osteoporosis. What we do with osteoporosis, we do a lot of building a foundation. Then we go into supporting sleep. What else we talk about? Hormonal imbalances, any kind of hormonal imbalances, any kind of autoimmune disease or chronic health condition as well. If you wake up to pee in the night, if you snore, if you grind your teeth, that's a different reason why you're not sleeping well, but it prevents you from actually getting into deep sleep. Do you know that when you fall asleep, if you can get to deep sleep, you make a hormone that quiets the need to pee in the night. So if you're having to pee in the night, there could be a few different reasons why. But if you're having to wake up in the night to go have a tinkle more than once, you cannot get deep sleep. It means you're not getting into deep sleep. Yep. Do you snore? Do you have sleep apnea? Do you grind your teeth? Those are all indicators that you're not getting to deep sleep and that you're actually starting to lack oxygen. So it's called hypoxia. That can drive a bunch of other stuff and can make that deep sleep really tricky. And a lot of the functions that you are aiming to get in that deep sleep will not function well, which now further impacts the chronic disease and whatever may be contributing to the development and the progression of any of these chronic diseases. So how's that? Do you love that? No, I don't, Luca. I know. I don't either. But it's one of those, I cannot tell you how absolutely crucial it is to me that people work at sleep and that you work at it naturally. And I have, we do some supplementation, and maybe I should talk about that this month. Yeah, I do talk about it. Okay, we do talk about supplements in one session this month. But supplements will be an early support. And then the goal is to eventually, just make sure that you're getting enough of those nutrients you need to get to sleep so that your body can make the recipes that it makes to get you to sleep. And that's about it. Eventually, the goal is to not have you on having to rely on a bunch of different things to get you to sleep, that you're just naturally getting there on your own steam. And I tell you, I was talking to a client yesterday, and she is in her late 70s, and she has had chronic 40 years of waking up in the middle of the night. And we've been working together for over a year, maybe almost 2 years now. We meet, I don't know, quite often. We're working through a bunch of things. And she has had 40 years of tricky sleeps. And we are shifting things for her. Her sleeps are much better. Her vitality and her vivacity, is that what I mean? She just feels more resilient, and she feels better. She feels calmer. She feels like she's got a handle on things, and she is less likely to jump at worries and panic. and she feels good. She feels better than she has in a really long time. So it's never too late to start addressing sleep, even if you've been reliant on medication for 30 years. Yeah, it won't happen in 2 weeks of just doing the 5 things that we will start you with, but it's going to help if you just put those pieces in place consistently. And that's what the network serves as a place, as a touch point where I repeat the same content in a few different spots, in a few different ways, so that it can register on your radar and you know what works for you. So we have lots to cover. So what do we do when we're talking about sleep? Well, we're going to support the natural biochemistry of sleep, and we'll do some hints on that. One of the big things we'll be doing this month is a class called Harnessing the Power of the Sun for Good Sleep. And we'll talk about the role that light plays in good sleep and the lack of light plays in good sleep. So we'll talk about some life hacks to bring that in. We'll be talking about your circadian rhythm. We are going to be talking about your pineal gland, or I call it the pineal gland, because it's shaped like a pine cone. We're going to talk about supplements, and we'll talk about the best foods to support. We'll be doing lots of good things. So what I want to do next, if you know that this is you, you're going to want to stick around. If you are already in the network, hang tight. If you're new to the network, stick around, because I'm going to give you a tour of what the network looks like, okay? So I'm going to show you first, for anybody who's looking for a little bit more information. If you're like, oh my gosh, Luca, I really actually just want to know a little bit more about the Good Food Network, and I can't wait for you to give me the link. I just want to go in right now. Okay, you go to my website, lucasimmons.com, and you go /goodfood-network. Does that show you there? Oh, don't do that, Luca. Okay, it's right there. If I maximize it, you can see things a lot better. Okay. So that's where you'll find it, is on my website. So just make sure that you're typing in this URL, right? And that's what I will send to you. If you say, please send me the link, Luca. And if you're too busy right now, then just put down, send me the link, and I'll send you the link. And once I wrap up the call, I will make sure the links are there as well in the comments. So if you're watching the replay, or if you're catching the replay on Zoom, or pardon me, on YouTube, then the links are going to be just below. So just click on show more and you'll get all the links you need. But this is going to give you a rundown on the different parts of the network. So the Good Food Network has a couple of different things in it, some live stuff, some recorded stuff, and written stuff. So we have weekly sessions that are live in the network, and that's the only place they live. There's a special monthly live class that happens in the middle of the month. There's some curated written content, recipes, seasonal explorations. We just shifted into winter, actually. And then we have some on-demand foundational courses and cooking classes. So this is kind of what the Good Food Network is made up of. And I think of it as a smorgasbord, a buffet. You know, we're a family of 8 now here in my hometown, and or my adopted hometown. And when we go out to, for example, Chinese buffet, all 8 of us are going to go to what's on display there, and we're all going to fill our plates differently. My plate will look different from my sister, or from my sister-in-law's. It's going to look different from my kiddo. It's going to look different from my nephew. It's going to look different from my mother-in-law, right? And from my husband. Like, everyone's going to have a different setup on their plate. And that's what this is. You get to pick and choose and build your own plate of what you want to put in place. And I have tools to help you get there and some suggestions. So we'll get to those in a second. So while you'll want to go here, there's a whole section towards the bottom of the page. How do I know if the Good Food Network might be a good fit for me? So you can take yourself through these questions and answer them. Below that, how do I know if the Good Food Network might not be right for me at this time? Same thing. You are going to want to go through there and ask yourself these questions. Yep. And that'll help you decide if it's a good fit or not. And the cost is $35. And you get access to everything from 1 month from the day you sign up. So if you're watching this on December 15th, you come join us on December 15th, baby. It doesn't have to be December 1st. You will be in for a month starting the day you start. And you'll stay in as long as you want. You just have to let me know when you want out. That's all. So your monthly membership to the Good Food Network includes curated content, this orientation call we're doing today, a Food is Medicine weekly class. There's an exclusive live class. There's a bunch of on-demand courses where we do a scratch cooking class. We're doing pizza this month. There's a full 2-hour class on sleep. And we're doing a class on meal planning, I think. Yeah, it's the module on meal planning. And then important information before you start, for you to know we have a 7-day free trial period. I'm pretty sure you're going to love it. And you're going to think, oh my God, I can't believe I have this for $35. That's ridiculous, Luca. Yeah, it needs to be accessible. And if I make it $200, I don't know, will people join? Maybe. I don't think so. If I make it 35, people who have an hour a week will be able to commit to that. That's like less than $10 a week. So you're paying like $7.50 for every hour you're going to hang out in the network, where you're going to get recommendations that it takes me 6 weeks to build with clients in 1 hour of what you're going to dive into in the network. I know, wanting you. Okay, that's it. Lots of different resources there. So again, you want to make your way to lucasimmons.com and you can plug this in or just look for the link below the website here. So the next piece I want to show you, for anybody who's going to be joining us, where you want to log in, you go to lucasimmons.com. I have a monthly recipe subscription. You go to continue on to website so that you can go on the home page of my website. And on every and any page on my website, there's a button on the bottom left that says log into Client Hub here. This is what you're going to click on in order to get into the network every time. You can also save this link. I think it's important to save the link. It makes it easier for you. But if you've lost it, you don't know how to find how to log into the hub, this is where you're going to get it. And the hub is where this whole program is housed. Okay. Now let's go to what it looks like. So once you log in, so I love Practice Better, which is where I host I call it the hub, and it's where I host the program. I like it except for one thing. It is not super user-friendly the first time you go in. But once you get into it, you get to know how to use the place. And it doesn't look obvious when you go here. Looks like I'm trying to get you to book a session with me. Oh, yeah, I mean, you can, but I would say don't. Scroll down to where the programs are. And what you're looking for is the GF network, not gluten-free network, but Good Food Network. And you click on that. So you can, that's one of the ways in. Or up top left, it says My Programs. You click on My Programs. And look, I've got an active program for Good Food Network. You click on there and that takes you right to the network. So these are all the different components of the network. This is where I will expand because this will make it a little bit easier to look at. So on the left here, for those who are going to be joining us, when you go into the network, make sure that your cursor is on top of these little sections if you want to scroll through what are the different parts of the network. I've got them grouped. This is kind of the administrative stuff, the live sessions this month, the pre-recorded content, and then the written content. So let's start at the top. Start here, kitten. Now I've already completed it, but when you go in to look at it, this is the orientation on how to use the hub. So you'll be able to do a little orientation there. The replay to watch this actual video is going to be right there. Yeah. And then this gives you a rundown of what are the different parts of the network. If I want to go back to where the last page was, you can scroll back up to the top and just go to the page before. I want to show you something. So you can click on this guy. You can click on this guy to access the module. Doesn't matter. But let's look at the schedule and checklist, because this is going to give you an idea of what is in the network. So I'm going to make this. Oh, yeah, I can zoom in a little bit. It's a bit better. So this is our month. And on this schedule or calendar are the live sessions. So right now we're doing the orientation call. Next Thursday, we'll do a session at 7 a.m., 7 a.m., 7 a.m., 7 a.m. We've got another one on Wednesday, December 13th. And this will tell you what the topics are for each of those sessions. So Food is Medicine happens on Thursday mornings. Our live class this month is going to be Harnessing the Power of the Sun for Good Sleep. So you can print this up. You can download and print this month's calendar just below. You download to your computer and you print from there. Now, I also build a checklist. So there's a printable version of this just below. And this checklist helps you in a couple of different ways. First of all, it lets you know what are all the moving pieces to the network that you can access this month. You can cross stuff out. You don't have to go check everything if that's overwhelming. You can also use the side of the sheet here to organize in which order you want to prioritize the different parts of the network. So for example, for anybody who's joining us and really struggles with sleep but doesn't understand why, you, my friend, need to watch the Vitality Sleep class. So you put this as item number 1. And then when you're done, you just check mark it. And then this printed version lives on your counter, on your desk, or on the cork board, somewhere in view so that you can see it to have that reminder that, oh, hey, self, go check the network. Have you done it this week? And that helps you to know if you want to print stuff, if you want to watch the videos, and what kind of stuff you want to get into. What's the first thing you want to do that's really easy? You print up the recipes, friend. It's the easiest thing. So pick the really easy things so you can feel accomplished at first. Good idea. So all of the new things for this month say new. So for those who've been in the network in November, there are a lot more new pieces than usual. Vitality Sleep is still there. If you didn't get to watch it in November, it's going to be there till the end of December. Our meal planning is the same. It's not new, but everything else after that is. So this is how you help organize how you're going to move through the network itself. Again, you download and then you print from your computer. Now, this is a new thing I started this fall where it's building your worksheet for the month. And I do a new one every month. So you've got the month, you've got the topic. And the goal is that, a year from now, when you're like, oh, yeah, I remember I was in the network. What were those things we worked on for sleep? You pull that out. You take a look at it and you can go back to those ideas and implement them again. Because you will have, this is your cheat sheet, if you will. So main goals this month, what do you want to address or work at this month, and maybe why or how it shows up in your body? And you will get some of these pieces from watching some of the classes, especially that Vitality Sleep class. Every time you attend a session, you're going to have action items to do things. There are some for food and there are lifestyle and more. So start jotting them down. For example, this week, the Good Food Challenge of the week is to bring in lemon balm tea. So you write in lemon balm helps calm my nerves. Oh, I remember Lucas saying that it helps to calm a nervous mind. So you can write lemon balm for nervous mind, okay for kids. You write whatever notes you want when they come across. And then you have a really short, succinct to-do list that you can work on for however long you want to be working at sleep. And I tell you here, prioritize 3 to 5 things to do this month. So introducing 1, maybe 2 new things a month, like the actionable pieces. You'll have way more. You will have about 72. Yeah, so you have to become the gatekeeper. It's part of the medicine, pals. Newsflash, you live in a time of abundance. I am a part of the abundance, and you will get it when you join the network. Okay, so that's the worksheet. And then a little bit more info for live sessions and replay sessions and where you can find all of that. So once I've finished this module, do you see up here it says mark completed? Go ahead and click that, and I'll tell you why. I want to confirm that I have marked this module as completed. Yes, please. Oh, no, I don't know where I am. I'm just going to go back to GoodFood Network, back to my program. Oh, so that the next time I log in, I know that I've already done all the work in that module. I don't need to go back to look at it. And you can go back and view it, but if you've marked it completed, now you know for yourself that that part's been done. And then now you want to start moving through different pieces. So first, just the last 2 pieces of this administrative piece. Here we're talking about sleep and all of the different things that sleep impacts and why it's important to look after sleep. In here, the list of symptoms and ways that your body tells us you're having a hard time sleeping. There is a more concise list in here. So you can go back and check that list. And then you look to see how we approach it and why I think supporting sleep can have such general impact on everything. And why is it important? And then where you start. And the best bang for your buck is that Vitality Sleep class. First of all, the network itself is $35. The sleep class by itself is $60. Yeah, you want to do it like this. When you're done, you mark completed. There's nothing to print. It's just reading material at this one. Back to my program. Okay, so you've got all these different parts. There's also a section here all about your network subscription. So that's the administrative side of, okay, I need to update my credit card. I need to step out of the network for a month or two. It'll give you instructions in there and a bit on how this is structured. Now we have 3 sections. We have live sessions, pre-recorded content, and written content. Let's start with the easiest stuff. We're going to start with the recipes of the month. Every month we have 5 new recipes. These are the recipes that get mailed out to everybody who has signed up for the recipe subscription service. So you might already be getting these. So we have the delicata squash roasted, the Acadian meat tourtière, the weekend breakfast frittata, the beef bacon liver pate. Yes, you're welcome. I'm going to make some today with pork, actually. We've got the fat bomb roundup, because who needs cookies for Christmas? I'm not against cookies, but I really like fat bombs. They're like the anti-inflammatory cookie. And there's like 6 or 7 in there. Low histamine versions too, don't worry. So here we've got the recipes. You download, you print, and then you add it to a binder in the kitchen. There's always a new batch of recipes. When you're done, mark completed, confirm. Now you know you've printed them up. Go back to the program. Get your cursor on top of where these modules are listed. Yeah, if you leave your cursor here, you can't move through it. You have to have your cursor on top. So here I've done my recipes right on. What is this weekly food challenge, Luca? Well, it's what I talk about in my social media. So on Instagram and Facebook every week. This week's challenge, as I was saying, was to get some lemon balm into your life for better sleep. And then this links out to a post that I do where it describes everything. But what's different from social media versus what you're doing here in the network, you have more support in the network on how to implement these ideas. So you might have links out on how to do different recipes. Sometimes here I had somebody that I hired to write a blog post, a herbalist that I really love, and she wrote on lemon balm. So I've got a link out to that. Different ideas on how to think about how to bring in lemon tea or lemon balm tea to your life, and how you might achieve that. And every week we have a new section. So this will bump down to here next week, and I'll have a brand new food here on Monday. I think it's beets. Yep, beets are amazing for sleep. Let's keep scrolling back down to the written content. That's your food challenge. Then we have our last section in that written section is eating with the seasons. Today, we launched the winter one. So we rotate through every 3 months. And eating with the seasons goes December, January, February. So there's a little video to talk about why eating with the seasons is so important. I talk about it all the time. And here you're going to have a handout and a recipe bundle. So some more recipes. So for example, let's just click on that so you can see it. So here is the handouts, just to give you an idea of what you're getting. Oh gosh, that's hard. There we go. Foods to focus on for the season. Superb foods, teas, roots, and shoots, herbs and spices, why this is for the kidney and the adrenals for the winter season, and ways to think about it. Black foods are actually really amazing. And then the main energy for the season, so that this might help inspire how to move through the new season. And then these are 5 of the ideas to give you. Is there one of these that jumps out for you? So these are ways to think of moving through the season. So a big part of what I do is to help people get in sync with the natural seasons. We really hone in on your circadian rhythm and your body's sense of where you are in time and place. When you're struggling with sleep, this is one of the biggest pieces that needs to be reset. So especially when you're struggling with sleep, eating with the seasons is huge and can be a really big needle mover to help you better get to sleep, interestingly enough. So here are some of the things to think about as you move through the new season. And you can pick one of these for every 2 weeks if you want, and you'll be able to get through them in the course of those 3 months that it'll be posted. So this gives you ideas. It's a printout, so you get to hang on to it as long as you need it. You also get a whole bundle of recipes, some more, because we all love recipes. And here, if you need some more winter recipes, that it tells you how to get some more if you want. And there you go. So that's the winter season. So that I'm going from the bottom up because these are the really easy things, because you can click these off in one session sitting down, and then you just feel like, oh my God, I got it done. I'm amazing. Yes, you are. And a sense of accomplishment is going to help you keep momentum. Now, if we go up one section to the pre-recorded content. So these are the on-demand things. You can think of this as a streaming service. You've got 3 to choose from. You can go to all 3 if you want. We've got that real food reset module. We do a whole module on meal planning. And this was 2 weeks of work in an intense class where we had about 3 hours of video every week. So this has been living there for the month of November and December. If nothing else, if you're not going to watch the videos, could you at least print the handouts? Because you get 3 months of meal plans done for you. Guys, there's a whole bunch of things in here. Don't forget to go in here and print things up. You know, people get tired of my recipes. Too bad. There's a whole 3 months of meal plans when you sign up for the Good Food Network. This is the season of abundance. We are living in a time of abundance. Don't be fooled. So this is part of the meal planning. So if you wanted to really hone in on doing meal planning, then you can utilize the network for just this month. And $35 for 3 months of meal plans. If that's all you get out of the network and a bunch of recipes, good work, because that class alone is $99. I know. Do you see how there's so many things on offer? The trick is they disappear. So you have a finite amount of time to get into the content. So you're paying less to really get the fire lit under your butt so you get it done by the end of the month, because it disappears. And sometimes we need the motivation. Now, we also have a sleep class. So the Vitality Sleep class is where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck, because we want to get you sleeping like a teenager. This is a full, almost 3-hour class. There are so many videos in here, and the handout helps you keep track of where you are in the videos. We go into all of these different pieces. When sleep is an elusive beast, what's going on? Why is sleep so important? What are the negative things impacting my sleep? And then you get into 5 solutions that you want to start implementing. And I go into detail with each of these, it's like 10 minutes. And then some recipes and a recap. So lots and lots of goodies in there. And that's in your pre-recorded content in that Vitality Sleep class. We also have a cooking class. And it was a cooking class I put together and recorded with my teenager, who was in grade 9 at the time, at the start of the pandemic. She's now graduated high school. Can you believe it? Oh my God, that's so weird. But the scratch cooking class this month, Eliza and I are in the kitchen and we are making pizza. So we will walk you through how to make pizza. I just realized I should probably, the recipes on getting the pizza components ready was last month. I'll make sure they're in there so that you can also get those beginner pieces, because you'll need them if you're only joining us in the network this month, because you will have missed that last month. But you get the whole month to spend 90 minutes with us in our kitchen, and we make pizza from scratch for gluten-free people, for dairy-free people, for I can't eat tomatoes people, for I have histamine issues people, for I can't have nightshades people, for I don't have any food restrictions people, for all of the humans sitting at your table, all of them. I have an amendment for all the vegans, vegetarians, gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free, all of the things. Come join us. Thank you. Bye. Do you want to make pizza with us? That is the favorite class of the kids. And yeah, do you have a niece or a child in your life that you want to bring in and make some good food in the kitchen with you? Yeah, do that. So this is your on-demand content. You have 3 to choose from. Yeah, you can do all, or you just pick one if you're overwhelmed. Then we have the live sessions. So these are the ones that happen where it's like live TV, but it's TVR'd. Is that what it's called? TVR, where it's recorded and you can go back and watch it. Yeah, it is 2023. We have 2 to do. So Thursday mornings, 7 a.m., we always meet for about half an hour. And these are the topics we'll be doing this month. Next Thursday, we start with the pineal gland, beginner tips to support sleep. Magnesium, is it the missing mineral for sleep? And top 3 foods to support sleep. I may actually change that last one because we're already kind of doing those ones. So it feels a bit like overkill. I may change this one to being supplements so we can go in a little bit more detail. Anyway, it'll be updated in there, and I will let you know if that's the case when you join the network. So these are the sessions. Once they occur, I upload them and I put the link for the replay in here. That's the only place you will find them. So for anybody who's joining us and you can't be there Thursday morning at 7 a.m., okay, cool. Come back. Make sure you come and watch the ones that interest you before they disappear at the end of the month. Okay. Going back to the page before. The other piece of the live session is a live class. Every month we do this live class. You can also just sign up for the live class itself. It's $25 on its own, but $35 when you join the network. I know. Luca, this doesn't make any sense. Nothing I do ever makes sense in my business way. I want it to work for you. I want it to be accessible, and I want it to be something where you feel good about joining. So we are doing a class called Harnessing the Power of Good Sleep. It is happening, the live version, if you want to join us and ask questions at the time. It's going to be Wednesday, December 13th at 9 a.m. Tells you how to join. Just have to show up. And then once it's done, I will update this with the replay available link. So all you have to do when the replay is ready is to just click on this image and you'll get to it. Once I've got the handout, I haven't built the class yet. Once I have everything ready, it'll be uploaded here and links out to further information if it hasn't. And that is how you go through the network. These are the different moving parts. There's one more piece I want to show you. So now you know there is, if we go from top to bottom, that administrative part, we go into the live sessions, we go into the pre-recorded content, then we go into the written content. That's how you navigate it. There is also here on the left-hand side a couple of things here. So sessions is your Zoom links if you want. They're easy to find here. Right now, we're doing this call right now. So you can join us Friday, December 1st at 9 a.m. You'd click on this and it would give you the capacity to join us on Zoom. There's an easier way to do it. I'll show you that in a second. But you also have a chat function here. So this morning, as I updated everything in the network, I dropped a word. Every time I do something in the network and there's something to be updated, I put it in the chat so that you know what's going on. And every chat I've got has an image to make it easy to retrieve things and to find the info. So there's new content that awaits. Oh, what does that mean? I wish I could switch it so the image was up first, but it won't let me. So welcome to the new month with the part, I just figured out how to do it actually. Anyway, welcome to the new month with the part 2 of last month's topic into December, hormones. So it's not hormones, it's sleep. I'm going to change that to sleep. Sorry. But anyway, lots of good things in there for you to access. And in there, yesterday I did a session on the sleep and the heart and how the two are connected. And then once I upload it, then it's always in the comments here. Replay is available in the module for the food as medicine sessions. But because this module disappeared so quickly, I wanted to make sure I also leave the link for you to watch that. So it's a bit of a bonus this month. You could, if you wanted, to do a bit of digging and find that. In this session, especially if there's a history of heart disease and strokes in your family. But yeah, I always do updates, like there's changes that month. And then we've got print this month's stuff before it disappears. Then every time there's a new Good Food Challenge, I post it in here. And then this gives you ideas on how to attack some of the content over the weekend. And then updates of classes that are happening. And there's tips. I do a hot tip every now and then on Wednesdays. So check the chat every time you log in. So lots of different things. So that is the chat. So what I want to show you is I want to go back to that home page. The way to get back to your home page when you're logged into the hub is the bottom, is top left. When you click on Good Food Begins at Home, my little logo there, it takes you to your home page. And this is what it looks like when the window is maximized. And that's where you see the programs pop up here, or you can do it here. What ends up being a bit confusing is that if you start to play with the width of your window and make it smaller, because I have a Mac, now it looks really different than it did. The content is still there, but like it's hard. Whoops. It's hard to figure out how to find stuff. So if that's you, widen your window or go up here if you're on a Mac and make it as wide as you can. That's the easiest way to navigate. Just maximize your window with the green button there. You can access your Good Food Network there. You can access programs. How did I get to this page? I clicked on my logo top left. So in here, there's also chat bubble. So if I've left something in the chat, it will also be accessible through there, which you can see. It's just another way to see it. Sorry, you got to see people's names. I should have had that collapsed. I wanted to show you the home page because when we're doing a live session, the Zoom call links are right here. So we're doing this one right now, the orientation call. When it's time to join, if you want to join, you just click on this little camera icon. Next Thursday is the next live one. So that's Thursday, December 7th at 7 a.m. If you find yourself in a different time zone than where I am, this adjusts accordingly to where you are. So you don't have to sort of do the mental math there. But next Thursday, you want to join, click on this camera icon, and that's how you get into the Zoom session. It's very easy. So look for the upcoming sessions. If you can't see it, maximize your window, right? I see it there, sort of. Maximize your window, and it'll be a little bit easier to get to. And that, my friends, is the Good Food Network. So is there anything there that caught your fancy? Do you have any questions? What I like to do is offer a free chat. If you are curious to want to check some of this out, but you're not sure if it's going to be a good fit for you, ask yourself these questions. Do you have an hour a week that you want to dedicate to this? Then you have enough capacity to be able to join the Good Food Network. I would say an hour a week is optimal. If you want to dedicate an hour and a half, right on. If you want to, not just an hour and a half to sit with it, but print up the recipes and start playing with the recipes in the kitchen. You can print that Eating with Winter handout, have that living in the kitchen, and then you start playing with those foods, and it helps inspire how to get dinner on the table, how to go do your grocery run. And you get to know what are those winter foods. So while you may not necessarily be stuck to the computer just watching content, part of your work from the network may involve just printing things up and trying recipes in the kitchen. I point there because that's where my kitchen is. Yeah, there's so many different ways that you could get into the network. So if you're still not sure, replays, I'll have the links below so you can check out all the links I've talked about. I'm going to add one more link. I call it the discovery call. It's where you and I can chat and we can see where do you need support and could this be a good fit for you? And if it's not a good fit and you need longer to explore sleep, then we'll talk about solutions too. So I always have solutions for whatever your main health concern is. I can always tie it back to gut, the foods you eat, the way you move through the world, and how safe your body feels. Why I love nutrition and holistic nutrition in particular. It is a way to help create biochemical safety in the body. There's a series of ways to approach this. And when you do that, you support the natural rhythms of the way your body was made and designed to function in the world, in the natural world, actually. And when we do that work, we get you reinserted into the natural world. And when we do that, your body works better. And when we do that, you sleep better. Oh my God. And when you do that, now you'll have a less chance of developing heart disease like it runs in your family. So, are you ready for the Good Food Network? I can't wait. I'll see you there in the month of December. Okay. Thanks for joining me on this Friday morning. May you not get the cold I'm working on, and may your day be good to you. Salut. See you in the network. À bientôt.